Hello, my wonderful queer viewers, or otherwise, and welcome back to...
Here we go, lesbians! Here we go, lesbians, come on!
You fought. You fought. What is this shit? It's too early for seasonal gay anime spotlight. This isn't some fandom that nobody's gonna watch. What the fuck is this shit? Nah, I'm kidding. So if you don't remember 20 billion years ago in the distant lands of 2020, I did a different kind of video where I talked about queer characters in Western kids animated shows. I'm still really fond of that video and it was fun to make. So I guess that this is kind of a sequel to that because honestly, since I finished my top 10 anime project, which you all clearly loved, I've just had some video block. In that, I haven't really been able to do a video that isn't seasonal gay anime spotlight. So count this as my attempt to get back into that shit. Will it work? Probably not. Let's try it anyway. Okay, 3 things to note. Number 1. There is going to be no structure to this shit. I'm just going crazy while writing my script, and I, for one, am definitely not going to proofread it before recording and editing the video. Not that I put much effort into any of my videos, if you know what I'm saying. Number 2. I've really started to hate filming myself in that chair next to that manga bookshelf. I only did it to decrease my time of editing clips in with the script. Once again, no effort. So let's try an entire video like this where I don't do that. Will it be good with the change? Probably not. But it's too late. Number 3. I will not be talking about every queer character in Western kids animated shows that have appeared since my video 2 years ago. I know that they exist, but I just haven't seen most of the shows, so I don't want to hear nothing about how I didn't talk about queer characters from shit like The Dragon Prince or Amphibia. You do not want me to talk about Miraculous Ladybug. I will spend 2 hours about how that show makes me suffer and yet I keep on watching it. Do you want that? Trust me, you don't want it. I'll have to get my sister involved and you do not want her here. We will be here for hours. She will find a way to talk about the fact that Inuyasha and Kagome never kissed in the main canon. Trust me, save yourself! What the fuck was I even talking about? Oh, right, this bullshit. This video is just an excuse to talk about these queer characters in these kids' animated shows that I love to death. I just want to talk about what I want to talk about, so if I see a single comment that I forgot to include something, I will find you, and I will ignore you. Okay, let's start this video off already before I lose the motivation again. Also note that anything I say about Disney shows should be contributed only to the creators that made the show and not the company itself. I hate how happy this silhouette makes me.
I will stand up for Mickey! I will mash this triangle button!
Okay, so, they brought Adventure Time back. I have to be honest, I didn't know how I felt about hearing the announcement since the show already ended nicely and it went on for fairly long enough. But I have to admit the 4 specials under the title of Distant Lands were pretty enjoyable. The Peppermint Butler one was surprisingly good, and I love the one that continued to show Finn and Jake's unbreakable friendship, even through hell in the next life. But it's the first 2 specials that had queer characters. The first one centers around BMO, and is sort of a prequel to what they were up to before meeting Finn and Jake. In it, we meet the rabbit character of Y5, who is genderqueer, and I love them so much. Watch the episode, they are awesome. But of course, my favorite was the second special that centers around Princess Bubblegum and Marceline. In it, the 2 go on a mission that is kind of like a repeat of something that the 2 of them did when they were first dating before the show started. They have to sing a song or something to stop a monster. I don't know, I'm not rewatching the episode or doing the basic research, and when they originally did it, the 2 weren't on good terms. So Marceline sang this song that was basically nothing but trashing on her girlfriend, and yes, this is the reason that the 2 were broken up when the show begins. This is successful, but the monster or whatever is happening again, so now they're back. The big tension of the episode is Bubblegum and Marceline trying to work together to complete the mission, with the baggage of their breakup being related to the event weighing them down, especially on Marceline's side. But by the end, Marceline sings this really nice song to Bubblegum, being completely honest with her and singing how much she loves her. The situation and the 2's relationship troubles at the end seem to be resolved. And Finn is older, and it scares me. Alright, let's keep this going. No conclusions to each part. Let's just keep the pace nice and fast. So I watched the 3rd and final season of Kipo in the Age of Wonder Beasts the day after my bottom surgery. Watched that whole season on my phone in a hospital bed. Shit like that just stays with you. So as I talked about in the previous video, Benson's coming out as gay was a first in the fact that it actually used the word gay. That shit blew my mind. In the final episode of that first season and throughout the second season, Benson continually tries to find a way to ask Troy out since the 2 share an attraction to each other. And in the 3rd season, he accomplishes that and the 2 officially date by show's end. They are going to make waffles together for the rest of their lives. Also, we meet the non-binary character of Asher, twin to Dahlia, Kipo was a great show. Not on the same level as She-Ra, but y'all should check it out.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg.
Alright, so DuckTales, woohoo! In the 3rd season, the alien character of Penumbra is subtly revealed to be a lesbian and has a crush on Della. Okay, so I honestly didn't have anything else to talk about in regards to the show in terms of queer stuff. I kind of just wanted to rant about the fact that it only ended after 3 seasons. Why does Disney keep on canceling the good shit?
It's Michael Muko!
I swear to God, I watch these credits all the time, and I swear, every time I see it, it makes me cry. Create that Darkwing Duck show, please. I need more of these goddamn ducks!
Who's gonna help when the ginger overwhelms and the mysteries are piled high?
So whenever I watch a batch of new Craig of the Creek episodes, I am constantly surprised how much of the show keeps me engaged despite how simple the premise is. I think it's because of how seriously the kids take everything that they are doing that makes even the mundane exciting. Watch that Capture the Flag 5-part special, it's fantastic. The show has presented queer characters in the past, including the Witches of the Creek and JP's sister. Raj and Sean, formerly known as the Honeysuckle Rangers, show up more and are more happy in their relationship now that the king of the other side of the creek has been dethroned. Seriously, watch that episode with Raj and his grandma. Shit made me cry hard. We get a non-binary character in the form of Angel, who babysits the younger kids that can't take care of themselves at the creek, and everyone refers to them with they-them pronouns. It's super laid back, and I love it for it. But I think what absolutely blew my mind in the show recently has to do with one of the main characters, Kelsey. So people like to ship her and Stax together due to their shared interests of the same book series and how close the two are. So Kelsey and Stax are writing a book together, and they share their new writing with Craig, JP, and some other kids. The two main heroines of the book seem to be in a relationship together, and the other kids point out that they are very similar to Kelsey and Stax. This ends up making Kelsey a little uncomfortable, which drives a wedge between her and Stax. But what's smart about this is that it doesn't even have to do anything with the fact that Kelsey might possibly like another girl. In a previous episode, Kelsey was asked to a dance by a boy and was pressured into accepting. But by the end, we learned that Kelsey is a little uncomfortable with romance sometimes and just wanted to go to the dance with Craig as friends, which the two end up doing. So while it could be that Kelsey doesn't know how to process liking another girl, it could also just tie into the previous episode, which I found to be very clever. So to help Kelsey out, JP takes her to his older sister and girlfriend, who is also a writer, who everyone knows is in a relationship. I really like the scene because it's a great depiction of how an older queer person can give advice to a younger queer person. If you didn't already know, I'm a sucker for scenes like this. Watch my Bloom Into You video to see why. Getting this advice, Kelsey is able to admit her true feelings to Stax, and the two of them finish up their story and enter into a relationship. It is so cute and made me squeeze so hard. So I don't know if this still counts as a kids animated show, but fuck it, I'm counting it anyway. So in its 4th season, which I found to be a big improvement over the 3rd season, we get more development on our queer superheroes. Violet gets a really great conversation with the previous owners of their body's mother. Now I for one can definitely not speak for how accurate their talks about the Muslim culture are, so you are allowed to at least know me that in the comments. In the end, in a conversation with Harper, Violet decides that they identify as non-binary, which was only hinted at in the previous season. Later, as Violet is moving into their college dorm, Harper admits that she has developed feelings for them. Violet doesn't know what to say at first, but after a talk with their therapy group, side note, I really love how seriously therapy and mental health is taken in Young Justice, and a talk with Brion that doesn't go well in the end, Violet returns Harper's feelings and the two are seen in a relationship at Superboy and Miss Martian's wedding. And I believe that all of this is to rectify some of the Violet scenes in the 3rd season that weren't the best, but that's just speculation. One great thing about the 3rd season is that we finally got our polysexual Aquaman, just like he is in the comics, now in a relationship with Sinead. So the main conflict of Aquaman's arc is that he's taking too much on himself without taking a rest or time for himself, especially after the death of Superboy. But after the dilemma of Atlantis is solved, he does just that, deciding to take a break from being in the Justice League and is now laying back and relaxing with his boyfriend and Dolphin. Big surprise was with Lagoon Boy, who we didn't see all that much in the 3rd season. Turns out that in between the times we didn't see him, Lagoon Boy entered a relationship with both a man and a woman with a baby on the way. My mind blew wide open seeing a healthy and positive depiction of a polyamorous relationship, especially in animation form. I still feel like I dreamt it up or something. Again, Young Justice isn't exactly the same kids show that it was when the first 2 seasons aired on Cartoon Network, but this is still a pretty extraordinary thing to see in a Western animated property, especially with characters from DC Comics. And surprisingly, despite all that happens, nothing bad happens to Lagoon Boy in the end, and he's able to see the birth of his child alongside his husband and wife. Again, even as I write, record, and edit it, I still feel like it didn't happen and I'm just making this shit up.
I have made the metal ones pay for their crimes.
Mom's scary now.
So despite almost coming out in movie theaters, The Mitchells vs. the Machines was picked up and released by Netflix. These are the same people that did Into the Spider-Verse, and man, does it show. I adore this animation style and humor. Watch this movie, it seriously needs more love. Something amazing that happens in the movie is that the main character, Katie, is a lesbian. And now, remembering that, I really wish this was released in movie theaters. Granted, we don't get a lot of this, as the movie has to deal with the robot apocalypse and family drama, but we get hints here and there. For example, Katie wears a pride pin on her sweater throughout the entire movie, and we learn that she's interested in this girl at the college she's about to go to. The movie ending with the mother asking Katie if she's bringing the girl over for Thanksgiving. Seriously, go watch this movie. I love the style, and I want to see more of it. Across the Spider-Verse was delayed to June 2023, and I am in denial.
The prophecy has been fulfilled!
Man, seeing the Proud Family louder and prouder on Disney Plus was bizarre. Not because of the animation change or because of the magic lights that ages up the characters. Y'all remember magical Al Roker? This show was weirder than you remember. But listening to Tony Davidson voicing Oscar Proud again after watching In Living Color, man, is that show hilarious. The Proud Family was always a cartoon that tackled subjects that you normally didn't see in other cartoon shows. Shit was very progressive for the time. And the Disney Plus reboot continues that trend. Definitely with the biggest inclusion being Michael Cohen's redesign. In the original show, Michael was a character that didn't show up all that much, but was definitely coded as queer, being flamboyant in his dialogue and expression. Letter and Powder took this a step further, so now he is an explicit genderqueer gay boy and has a lot more screen time. They are also my favorite character in this new season. Granted, Michael does come across as the gay best friend trope to Penny and the other girls when having to do with fashion and boys and stuff like that. It also probably doesn't help that Sticky was basically booted out of the show. Look, I know that there was some controversy with Orlando Brown, but you didn't have to do my boy Sticky dirty like that. But Michael isn't completely the gay best friend stereotype. He has his own problems that he deals with, excels at basketball, and choreographs for Penny and the girls when they do their dance performances. He's even seen dancing with a boy at the dance in the first episode, and look how amazing he looks. I love him so goddamn much. Something that was heavily advertised with the new Louder and Prouder season was the fact that new characters Maya and Francis have two dads, Rando and Barry. After Penny and the others find this out, Dejanay does what she does and proves herself to be the worst character, and mass texts this throughout the school and town. Now Maya and Francis are being bullied for having two dads, and everyone's parents tells the kids to not hang out with them anymore, with Penny and Michael being the only ones that try to do anything. In a way that is all too fast and sudden in my opinion, everyone kinda gets over their homophobia, are forgiven, and have a dance party at the end. And I think that Oscar gets off a little too easy with the shit he pulled throughout the episode. But whatever, I like the continuation of Proud Family, and I hope another season's on the way. There is no way it can end with Sugar Mama walking away by herself all sad. She is my queen and I want her to be happy. Alright, bitches and bros and non-binary hoes, we've reached the big one. The one we've all been waiting for. So, me and half the current fan base, let's be honest, started watching The Owl House after the Grom episode aired. But before we get into the beauty that is Lumity, I should talk about the awesomeness that is Rain, a character who is non-binary who goes by and is referred to with they them pronouns, even by the villains. Gotta love that. They were friends with Ida when they were younger, and as they grew up together, they entered a relationship. But unfortunately, Ida's trauma with her curse causes her to push Rain away. After they don't see each other for a while, they meet up again when Ida has control over her curse, and Rain is a part of a rebellion that is against Belos and the Emperor's Coven. Though at the end, they are taken in and is seemingly under mind control to ally themselves with Belos and be against Ida, also seemingly wiping some of their memories. But this ends up being all a setup by Rain teaming up with other rebel members of the Emperor's Coven in order to take Belos down from the inside. Which, you know, goes horribly by season's end, but we gotta appreciate the effort. Also, please just tell her that you still love her, Rain. I also love the fact that because Rain dated Ida in the past, they are kind of like a celebrity to Luz and King. Okay, Luz and Amity. I'm gonna be spending the rest of this video talking about them.
Abandon all hope, ye who enter.
So at the beginning of The Owl House, Amity starts out as kind of the bully girl to Luz, sort of like Chloe from Relentless Ladybug. God Damn it, I told myself I wasn't going to talk about that show. But quickly in the first season, we see the cracks in Amity's personality having to do with her rough upbringing due to her strict and overbearing mother. As Luz and Amity bond over stuff like their love for the same book series, the two grow closer, and Amity becomes a better person, not bullying anyone anymore, and makes amends with Willow, who she hurt in the past. And in that famous Grom episode, we see that beautifully animated dance sequence between Luz and Amity. I cannot tell you how many times I've rewatched this scene, it's too many to count. And at the end of the episode, we see that Amity was going to ask Luz out to Grom, but didn't get the courage to. And for the rest of the season, Amity heavily blushes and is nervous around Luz.
And scoop. Oh, wow. Sports.
So I believe that since the Owl House's third season was heavily canceled to only being 3 double-length episodes,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Dana Terrence fucking threw up her arms and decided to get as much queerness between Luz and Amity as she possibly could and as quickly as she could. In order to help Luz get information that could get her back home, Amity helps Luz at the library that she works at, but ends up getting in trouble and loses her job, something that she really loved. In the process, she has this really nice conversation with her older sister about how Luz always makes her feel and how different she's become since meeting her. And because of all of this, Amity decides to both cut her hair and dye it purple. And when Luz runs to her, having gotten her job back, Amity kisses Luz on the cheek, and it made me yell so loud, I swear my neighbors were concerned about me. And this reveals that Luz also has a crush on Amity. And very shortly after, again, Dana Terrence, I applaud you. We get what was supposed to be a Hootie episode, but ends up being so much more. In an effort to help get Luz and Amity together, Hootie creates a tunnel of love, but ends up freaking Luz out, who doesn't want Amity to think she's weird, even though she secretly likes it. When it all goes wrong, like Hootie thinks he's been doing with King and Ida, Hootie freaks the fuck out. In an effort to calm him down, Ida, who is very supportive of it, suggests that Luz gain the courage to ask Amity out. And she does just that, with Amity doing the same in a really cute scene. And throughout the second season, Luz and Amity are in a relationship. They refer to each other as girlfriends, kiss each other on the cheek and hold hands, call each other cute nicknames, go through relationship drama here and there, but always come out happy when they communicate with each other. This all reaches its zenith when Luz and the gang save Amity from her evil mother, as Amity has been worrying about Luz for a couple of episodes. She kisses her on the lips.
Let's go, lesbians, let's go!
Before I gush about this scene, can I just comment that I like to think that since the season 2 finale didn't have a big boost in animation for a scene like the Ida versus Lilith fight did at the end of season 1, that Dana Terrence put that money into this short kiss scene? That's some power for queer stuff right there.
You underestimate my power!
Anyway, I love this scene! And yes, I know that this isn't the first same-sex kiss in a Western animated show for kids. Hell, it isn't even the first Disney one. But there's just something about the power of this scene that flies in the face of the reason that the Owl House may or may not have been canceled in the first place. It has the same energy as Marceline and Bubblegum kissing in the finale Adventure Time, and the same energy of Ruby wearing a dress at the wedding in Steven Universe to stick the middle finger to foreign censorship. The voice acting, the animation, the dialogue, it is all just perfect. Also, I love that in a later scene when Amity reveals to her mother that she's dating Luz, her mother isn't upset that she's dating another girl, just that she's dating someone like Luz.
You are a bad guy, but this does not mean you're a bad guy.
Also, I love this detail in the last moment of the second season when our kids arrive at Luz's place. Despite all that just happened, Amity is all nervous and professional because she's meeting her girlfriend's mother. Lumini is a gift that just keeps on giving. It flies in the face of everything that Disney doesn't want to 100% have in their properties for kids because of those stupid people in charge. From the beginning of the show to Grom, to the kiss on the cheek, to the asking out, to this moment here, this relationship will help kids in the future realize that there is nothing wrong with them and that they are normal just like everyone else. Just like all of the other examples I presented in this video and in my past one as well. Seriously, fuck Disney. All praise for this relationship and how explicit it is, and how fucking amazing this show is goes to Dana Terrence and the entire Owl House team. Bless every single one of you. Okay, so I don't know how this fucking video is going to end. If it'll be good or bad in the end, I don't know. I did have some fun making it, which might help in the future. I have no idea. Thanks for watching still, and how do I end this video? Let's see.
Oh, look, there's Harry